Good morning, grade 4 students. Mr. Waterman here with today's mathematics lesson. It is Wednesday, January 13th, 2021. Happy New Year to all of you. This is our first mathematics lesson of 2021. I hope you all had a fantastic Christmas and New Year's holiday and that all of you and your families are safe and well. Let's get started. So we're going to continue studying decimals. Now, where we left off last term, the last unit that we did, or the last point that we did, was fractions and decimal equivalents, and that was on page 8 of our notebook. I know a lot of you didn't get to finish this, but that's okay, to just show you where we left off. Okay, and that was sort of a long lesson, so page 9 is full now. And so what I'm going to do with today's lesson, in my table of contents, it's going to be on page number 10, okay? Now, our lesson for today, we are going to compare, and I always write in my table of contents, compare and order decimals. Okay? And that's going to be on page 10. Okay? So that's what my table of contents looks like. I'm going to skip ahead to page number 10. Folding my notebook back, and I'm going to write my title at the top of page 10 again. Compare and order decimals. There we go. All right, and so the first thing I'm going to write, I always write our objective, right? This is what we are going to learn in today's lesson. So my objective, our objective for today is to compare and order decimals and recognize equivalent decimals. Okay, long objective today. And then I'll put a period at the end, okay? So to give you a better idea about what we are going to do, I like to use an example. Sometimes I use the example in the book word for word, and sometimes I might change it around a little bit, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write an example sentence here. So I'm going to say, Taejun, I'm going to use myself as an example. Taejun Lee. Taejun is on the swim team. At his school. So Taejun loves swimming. At a diving meet, he earned these scores, okay? So I want you to pay very close attention to Taejun's scores. Okay? 4.6, 3.9, 4.8, and 4.0. Okay? Now, what are his highest and lowest scores what is the order of the scores from least to greatest? All right, so this is what we're going to look at. Okay? So the first thing that I want you to remember are that there are different ways to compare and order decimals. Okay? I'm going to show you two ways. Way one. Use a place value chart. Okay? So we're going to use a place value chart, and we're going to put these scores into our place value chart. Okay? So this is where I'm going to get a ruler. Okay? One, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. And I'm going to make this as easy as I can for you all to see here. Okay. And I'll use my ruler to make things nice and straight for all of you, because I know some of you like to take your own notes at home. Okay. And I'm going to make these columns nice and clean and easy for you all to see in this video. Okay. And I'll draw one more line across like that. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my decimal point in its place. Okay. That'll make it nice and simple, right? We have to line up our decimal points, okay? And remember, anything to the left of the decimal point, that's our ones column. And anything to the right, any number to the right of the decimal point, that's where we start tenths. Okay? So, I'm going to write my other information here. So, I'm going to say, first we line up the decimal points. Okay? Line up the decimal points. So these are all my numbers, right? Let's plug those in. So we had 4.6 as the first score. 4 ones and 6 tenths. Then we had 3.9, 3 ones and 9 tenths. Then we had 4.8, 4 ones and 8 tenths. And finally, we had 4.0. So we had 4 ones and 0 tenths. Okay, so we've lined up the decimal points. Then you can start comparing. In the ones place. Okay. So for example, 3 is less than 4. So 3.9 is the least, or the smallest, right? It's very easy for us to see that here. Then you want to continue comparing in the tenths place. Now we continue comparing in the tenths place, right? So let's say 8 is greater than 6. 6 is greater than 0, right? So 4.8 is the greatest. Okay, so when we do that, I'll write it over here. From greatest to smallest, 4.8 is greater than 4.6. 4.6 is greater than 4.0. And 4.0 is greater than 3.9. Okay? So that's the first way. Now I'm going to go to the next page. We can look at way number 2. Way 2, use a number line. Okay? Now, I'm going to take my ruler again. And I'm going to draw a line all the way across, like that, and like that. Okay? And what I need to do with the number line is I need to locate all the scores. Locate means find. Find all the scores on a number line. Okay? So, I'm going to start here. I'm going to start at 3.5. 3.5. 3.6. 3.7. 3.8. 3.9. 4.0. 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, 4.4, 4.5, 4.6, 4.7, 4.8, 4.9, and we'll end at 5.0. Okay? Now, first we need to find 3.9. That's the smallest, right? It's the least. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark it so we can see it. Okay? So 3.5, 3.6, 3.7, 3.8, 3.9. I'm going to mark it in red. That's 3.9. And I'm going to make a note and say I'll put a star. 3.9 is the least. Okay? Because it is farthest to the left. Okay? So then our next one was 4.0, right? I'll mark that in red. Then after that, we had 4.6, and finally we had 4.8. Okay? And we know that 4.8, I'll put another star. 4.8 is the greatest or biggest because it is farthest to the right. There we go. Move that so you guys can see it. Okay? So that will help you all to remember how to use a number line, okay, to compare and order decimals. Okay? So, what's our solution or answer? Solution? 4.8 is Taejun's highest score, and 3.9 is his lowest score. Okay? Now, the order of his scores, the order of his scores is 3.9, 4.0, 4.6, and 4.8. There we go. Okay. So now I have given you two ways to compare and order decimals. Okay. So I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to move this over this way a bit so you guys can see everything that's going on. You, of course, can pause the video and go back as you need to later on. All right. What I'm going to do now, so we're going to look at your practice sheets and your homework sheet that are next to this video. Okay. So for the practice, it says compare and order decimals. For the first part, it says compare. Write greater than, less than, or equal for each. Let's do a few examples. Number 1, 18.81 and 81.18. Well, let's look at the left of the decimal point. We have 18 and we have 81. 18 is smaller than 81. So 18.81 has to be less than 81.18. Okay? Number 2, 8.5 and 8.05. Well, we look to the left of the decimal point. Both numbers are 8. Now we look to the right. The first number after the decimal point is a 5. The first number after this decimal point is a 0. 5 is greater than 0. So 8.5 is greater than 8.05. Greater than. Okay? Now, what I would like you to do is I would like you to try the rest on your own. Now let's look at the second part. It says order the numbers from greatest to least. Greatest to least, that's biggest to smallest. Okay? Let's look at number 13. Okay? 3.31, 3.13, 3.40, and 3.04. Okay? So all the numbers to the left of the decimal point are 3. So that's easy, right? Now we're looking at greatest. Well, if you use a number line, 3.4 would be the greatest, right? So 3.40. After that, we have 3.3. There we go. 3.31. Then it would be 3.13. And finally, it would be 3.04. Okay? Let's look at number 14. 5.09, 5.6, 6.50, and 5.06. Well, the biggest number to the left of the decimal point is a 6. So 6.50 is the greatest. Now, for the next three, they all begin with 5 to the left of the decimal point. Now let's look to the right of the decimal point. We have 6, and then we have 0 and 0. So, $5.6 is next. After that, the third number, or the second number, is going to be 9 and then a 6. Well, 9 is greater than 6, so it's going to be 5.09, and then it's going to be 5.06. Okay? Please do the others on your own. And then you have 2 word problems. Which of the following can be placed here to make a true sentence? Equal, greater than, less than, or plus? Then for number 20, it says, a decimal number with 2 digits is between 4.4 and 4.8. It is less than 4.79 and greater than 4.4. The digit in the 10th place is even. What is the number? Good luck. Now for your homework sheet, it reviews. It says you can use a place value chart to help you compare and order decimals. And you can compare the numbers starting from the left. Okay? So you're going to do the same thing that you did on this page. Okay? So you have plenty to help you. For the first part, you write greater than, less than, or equal. For the second part, you order the numbers from least to greatest this time. Okay? Before we did greatest to least, now this is least to greatest, smallest to biggest, okay? And then you have a word problem. 4 gymnastics competitors have scores of 9.73, 9.89, 9.8, and 9.79. What is the order of the scores from least to greatest, smallest to biggest? Explain how you found your answer. Okay? Let's do one from each section here. Okay? Number 1, 23.23 and 23.32. Well, we have 23 on the left side of the decimal point. Now, to the right of the decimal point, we have a 2, and then we have a 3. Okay? 2 is smaller than 3. So 23.23 is less than 23.32. Okay? Less than. Order the numbers from least to greatest. Let's look at number 9 this time. Okay? So, if we look to the left of the decimal point, what's the smallest number? It's a 0. 0.384. Okay? Then, the next number is 3. So we have 3.842 and 3.084. 3.084, then 3.842, and finally 38.42. Okay? From smallest to largest. And that's it for your homework. If you guys have any questions, please look back at your notes and you can email myself or Miss Harris. We will be more than happy to help you. Stay safe and healthy and be well, and hopefully we will see you all in class again very soon. Bye-bye for now. Have a great day studying.